Hey, this is your girl Kim Moose, and I am back again. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm known by Lady Blur, aka Kim Moose, and I'm here today because I've been following this topic for a while. I guess you've all seen it on Facebook. The video of the mother beating her son in front of the school. So I'm going to show you the article because I've been following this for a while. And I am very happy to hear that the kid was removed from the home of this abusive mother. Plus, he wasn't the only one living in this house. There were children ranges from 2 to 12 years old removed from this because she spanked her son. She didn't just spank her son. Now, people don't understand this. She didn't just spank her son, no, just to discipline him, but she beat that poor baby up in front of school and was snatching him around, talking about she's going to bust him in his face and that he's nothing, and he calling him the N-word. And she's doing all this. Now, if you guys paid attention to the video and stuff, that boy was his clothes were too small for him, for one, and you can see that he was afraid already. He didn't look like one of those kids that would start trouble in school. In fact, upon doing a little bit of digging, they was finding out that the kid would go to school with clothes that were dirty, clothes that were too small for him, shoes that were old and had holes in them, and then he would often go to school hungry with bruises on him. So this doesn't sound like to me that the son was just being bad. This was a cry for help. While the mother, she was on point. Her clothes were on point. She had the name brand shoes on, and when she did a Facebook Live video, she says that, hey, he threatened the teacher. But we never heard from the teacher if that's true. And supposedly the teacher did say that this boy threatened her. But yet she stood around while this child was being beaten and humiliated. She needs to be fired as well. But let's get back on topic a little bit. As you can see, the spokesman for CPS confirmed the removal of the 4 children. Now, he wasn't just the only child that was suffering and being beaten at that household. All the kids, all 5 of them, oh my God. And look at this. Look at the age ranges here. Now, if you're a woman and you can't handle kids, why are you going to have 5 kids? So let's see. All ages of 5 kids. 1, 2, 3, 7, and 12. Okay, she just didn't stop after having 1 or 2. She kept going. So she filmed herself. Now, from the Facebook Live she did, she said, "Oh, I didn't know I was being filmed." Yet, if you pay attention to that video, she looks behind her, several times. She knows somebody is filming her. In fact, she brought somebody later on. We found out that she brought somebody there to film, a friend or something, so she could kill that lie that she didn't know she was being filmed and she didn't know it would get on Facebook. Of course, she knew she filmed it, but she knew at the end when people started lashing out at her that it was not the thing to do. But I'm glad that stupidity exposes themselves. So over 500 views. So this mother beat her child. Now, she beat her young black son in front of the world, dragged him around, called him an N-word, told him he was nothing, told him she would bust his face in, cave his face in front of the world, and she did this for views and attention. Yet, it seems like these people would rather just beat the hell out of their kids instead of just raise them up right, like adults are supposed to do. I have a child myself. I have a toddler. Toddlers have energy. That's what they do. They have energy. It's your responsibility as an adult and as a parent to raise them right. Say, hey, don't do this. Hey, don't do this. If your response to everything they do is anger and then them being beaten, then you don't need that child, because now all you're doing is teaching them how to do, that violence is the solution for everything when it's not. So let's go about it. This is the video. Now, I'm not going to play this video because it's messed up, for one. And I don't believe in showing abuse. I don't believe in showing abuse because it's messed up, and we have more than enough abuse and fighting videos on Facebook and YouTube all together to begin with. But let's talk about this. We need to talk about how we're going to get this together and stop this, because it seems like it's a tradition of many black people, especially single black mothers, and most households, to beat their kids instead of just finding solutions other ways. There's other ways to discipline your kids. If you really, really have to spank them, you don't have to beat them in their face and drag them around, humiliate them before the world. You can it can be like one or two smacks on the hand, or the one or two smacks on the bottom. But if you beat your child out of anger, then that's not even the child. That's the adult that's failing the child. So I wanted people to see this. You know, no one. Now here's the thing that really, really upset me. You had all those teachers standing around. Nobody stopped this child being beaten. Now, like I said earlier, I'm going to go touch back on what I said before. Now, this child will show up to school, clothes that didn't fit, clothes that were dirty, bruises on this child, and he was hungry. Okay, so this is not a case of a child being bad. This is, like I said before, this is a case of a child being abused. The other students would say, hey, he doesn't really talk that much. He's very quiet. He sits at the back of the class. Doesn't really say anything. Now, from what I was told upon doing a little bit of digging and research, is when the teacher was asking everybody a question, all he did was laugh at the question when it was his turn. And maybe he was shy, or maybe he was just nervous. Kids get nervous around his age. Look at how he was dressed, for one. And then he might have been beaten before he showed up to school. And then instead of this teacher helping him and seeing the signs of abuse, from what we're told, she tells the mother that this boy threatened her life. Now, I don't believe that, because sometimes a lot of these teachers will lie. A lot of these non-black female teachers will lie on little black kids. I'm just going to be upfront right here. If they don't get the response they like or they want, then they will often tell lies. Look no further to all these teachers sitting up here molesting and beating up kids now at these schools. So let's move on from that. Second, there's no way your child should be coming out. This is the video if you guys want to see it. You guys have already seen it. If you're on Facebook, you've already seen it to begin with several times. When I saw the video, I was really angry, because here she is, her hair is done. She has on jewelry. She has on the nicest clothes, and yet her kid was going to school bummy and hungry with bruises on him. No, this is a case of not the system, but child abuse. And this is a case of, I'm going out there and slide on that there with some more facts. This is a case of the system failing to spot child abuse, because there's no way your kid's supposed to go to school with dirty clothes on. I don't care what anybody says. You have people trying to make excuses for this, or saying, oh, I didn't know, we didn't know all this. It only takes a little bit of time to do research, and plus the mother did a Facebook Live, and she came up with the biggest lies and bullshit known to man. Because I sit there and I listen. She's like, okay, yeah, his clothes he goes to school dirty sometimes, but you can't always wash his clothes. You just gotta make sure you get him to school on time. That's bullshit. Like I said, I have a toddler. Kids get dirty, for one, if they're gonna be playing. They get dirty at school. It's you as a parent, mother or father, to take the time out to go wash this kid's clothes when you can. If you just come to school and you're all floxed up, and your kids are coming to school with clothes that are too small on them, clothes that have stains on them, you don't know if this kid was being made fun of. And that's another thing. I was like, I'm tired of, I'm trying not to curse him, but I'm tired of females making excuses for their poor behavior and while their kids are suffering. Now, she didn't just stop at this one child. And if it was just as hard for kids, and you're struggling, why you have 5 kids? And a lot of them, the first First two she could have stopped, but no, she had three more back to back to back. So there's no excuse for this. And the lady's name is Brittanie Thomas. She did Facebook Live talking about, oh well, no, you guys need to stop judging me. I'm doing the best I can. Okay, but as I told her in the Facebook Live, your kids are going to school balmy and dirty, and all sometimes hungry. That's not motherhood. That's a failure right there. I was like, and I said, why are you looking all flossy with your hair dead, but your kids are struggling, looking like they're struggling and going hungry? And she's telling people not to judge her, but we have to judge this stuff because too often in the black community we turn the blind eye to abuse. So we need to stop that for one, and two, there's no reason why a child should be going hungry to begin with. There are programs out there. If she needed help, there are pantries, there are programs, there's places that even help wash people's clothes if you can't do it. But I was like, take some time away from those nails, take some time away from that weave and that gold jewelry, and use that money towards your kids. You already had them. If you didn't want kids, there's more than enough protection out here. You have the sponge, you have the pill, you have implant contraception, you have condoms, male and female condoms, and you have the shot. So there's no excuse for this. All I say is, if you're gonna have kids, black men and women, then you need to be a parent. The kids, you need to know that being a parent is a lifelong commitment. It's not easy, but this is what happens when you have kids. Now, if you don't want to have kids, you can just use the protection that I just named off. But this lady, from what I saw on her Facebook, she didn't really care about the kids. She just wanted to use the money from the system, child support and everything, just to make sure she looked good. But her children were suffering. So thank God they came and took these kids from her. Hopefully she never gets them back. And she needs to go to jail. Maybe a good 5 or 6 years. I don't care what people say. People say, oh, you're harsh. No, what she did was harsh. And she needs to be punished just as harshly, because who knows what she's doing to those other kids or this child behind closed doors if his child is suffering. But however, let me get back to the teacher. Okay, the teacher was just standing there letting it happen. She needs to be fired too. Somebody needs to find her name and get her fired as well, because there's no way this should have been going on in front of the public school. And with that said, you guys have a nice day. Be kind to each other. Be safe out here. If you like the video, please sub, comment, and like and share the video. But have a good day. Peace.